How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the week 6 of the Two Summoners podcast. My name's Corey, and as always, I am joined by my fantastically good-looking co-host, Papa Pike. How we doing, dude?
That's not this guy, but he's just as good looking. And because Corby can't see me, I love making fun of this, but I'm
Wait,
pointing
are
at
you
him.
this way? Are you
No, no,
this
no,
way?
you're the other way. So if we just do this, yeah, no. You can't do both ways. That's not how it works.
I don't
But
know.
no, g'day guys. How are we all doing? I hope you're all having a beautiful week. It's so good to be back for episode 6, yet to be titled. Corby, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty good, dude. Started uni back first week. Played some League of Legends, did a whole bunch of
Mm.
streaming. I've had a good one. What about you, dude?
I mean, I've had a pretty good week. Honestly, I've just been vibing. Stream's been going pretty good. They cut one of my shifts from work. So I was so upset. I was like, you're killing me. But that's all right. So I've got a lot of editing and stuff that I've got to do for Two Summoners. I got editing I got to do for a job interview that they want me to do some stuff for it. I was like, okay, cool. We'll see how
Sweet.
that goes. But yeah, so just working hard, man. The grind, as always. Which is going to
Sounds
lead
sick.
perfectly into today's segment, basically.
Yeah, it is. We had a interview that was lined up
Mm,
for today, but due to unforeseen circumstances, that had to be cancelled. So,
mm.
because LCO starts back next week, and we pretty much talked about everything LCO last week, including
Yeah.
our predictions for the week. If you guys want to see predictions, go over to the Twitter. They'll be put up there sometime throughout the week leading up to the games. So, if you want to see who we picked, go over there, plus our standings, which we went through last week as well.
Correct.
But what are we going to be talking about this week, dude?
Dude, we're talking about just content creation. So not only just like oceanic, but all worldwide content creation about streaming, building platforms, building a community. I'm really excited for this one, and then sort of building into how you can work your way into like esports and what's a good place to start. I know you've been wanting to talk about this for ages, but having seen it all sort of written out about how we're going to talk about it and what we want to talk about, I'm really excited for this, man. Like, not that I wasn't excited before, but I think this is something people will get really behind. Like we've both got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a really good topic, and it might be a longer podcast, honestly, for the way that it's looking. But look, at the end of the day, this is going to be crucial information that anyone who wants to either start streaming or is already a streamer could use to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure. So I've listed out a whole bunch of stuff so we can try to kind of like touch on like certain points about streaming because I know a bunch of people listening to this podcast in my stream, and I'm guessing yours as well, all
Mm.
want to or like super inspired to want to like try and start content creating, streaming, doing stuff. So yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah. So okay, then, let's start right at the beginning. Then, what is the biggest tip you can give to someone who is just starting? So an absolute tip for beginners. But before we get into that, actually, before we get into that, we got one little thing that we literally got told just then by Caffeinated Cutie in the background is, guys, little challenge for all of you. We want you to send in the funniest League of Legends username you can
Yeah.
find in a game. If you the funniest one is gonna win, I'm gonna gift you a sub in my stream. How's that sound? Look, I don't know. Colby might gift you one, but he's a uni student. He's pretty poor.
Hey man, I work. Come on, I'm Reddit. I'm so rich.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna gift a sub into his stream for the same person as well. So you get 2 subs for the price of 1 username. So
Oh.
go find your best one, post it into either my or Corby's Discord. We'd love to see it. Funniest one will win.
Mhm.
Funny means it can be crude, but with tasteful crude, I think is a good way to go. Don't you agree?
Yeah, let's not get cancelled on week 6 or week 7. So yeah, like keep it within reason, guys. But like anything pretty funny because I've seen like a whole bunch, like the classic Fizz on your Jace. Like that's just
Oh, yeah,
perfect.
that's the best one.
That's
I
classic.
think I've actually seen that person on the Rift.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
genuinely.
plenty of them.
There's so
It's
many.
not original at this point.
But okay, so back to the initial sort of topic at hand, Corby. What's
Mhm.
your go-to tip if someone's saying, "Hey, Corby, I want to start streaming. What do I do?"
I basically tell them to shut up and stop asking me because like the last thing you should be doing is asking people like, "Oh, what do I do to stream?" My best advice to them is like, "Shut up, stop asking me, and go stream." Actually, just going live is a big portion of it because you're not going to be perfect. Your first stream's not going to get 100,000 views.
No.
What you're doing is you're practicing streaming. You're going live, talking to yourself, talking to people who come in,
Yep.
and you're just kind of getting used to it. What do you think?
That's actually my tip as well. My tip is someone's like, "Oh, I want to start streaming. What do I do?" I'm just like, first thing you do is download the software. Second thing you do, press the go live button. You don't
Hmm.
need anything there. If you have a game there, you've already started the process. Webcam is sort of like your next go-to. Like that's again, we'll probably touch in on that little things that will enhance a stream later on. But webcam, good microphone, learning to read chat is
Mhm.
another one. But again, it's just pressing going live. You don't need to. It's not breaking the wheel at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Just go and do it. Just if you love playing a game, just press live before you start playing that game, and then it
Yeah, it's the
doesn't
same
matter.
as anything as well. It's like if you want to play basketball, it's like you go get a basketball, you start shooting some hoops, and then
Yeah,
later you like look up, oh, some cool basketball tricks.
yeah,
So when you're like you look up shit about streaming, I've done it so much. I've watched like thousands of videos on streaming and like audio stuff, and I'm sure you've done the same.
yeah.
And it's just you research stuff and you try stuff out and you like bounced ideas off like your community, or even if like no one's there, you still kind of need to perform. So
Yeah.
like that leads into like what I want to talk about as well is where we started streaming, because I know for me
Mm.
it was weird as starting and how I came into it. So yeah, I'll kind of like we can kind of interview each other. It's like how
Mm.
and when did you start getting into like content creating, streaming, or whatever you did?
Well, do you want to ask me first, or do you want me to go to you
Yeah, yeah,
because you've been
you go.
around longer?
No, you go, you go.
Okay, I'll go. So I remember the first stream I ever did, and I can remember like really vividly. I was living with my mum at the time, and I was in my bedroom, and I was just like, oh
Yeah,
look,
classic.
I was starting to play League of Legends a lot more, and it was at the time I was like, I'm watching a lot of streamers too, trying to learn the game. So I was sort of like, oh, why don't I just stream it and show people me learning the game? And that was it. Didn't have a webcam. I just started playing the game. I had 0 viewers for so
Mhm.
long. And then
Oh,
I
yeah.
just started playing with mates and I'm like, hey, can you just watch? I've gone live. They're like, oh, you're streaming? And I was under a whole different name. I've gone through like multiple name changes in this time. But then it's just been growing from there. And I think there's definitely intervals where you notice the growth more
Yeah.
than others. But I can say with absolute certainty, the first 2 to 3 years is the hardest grind because you will have
100%.
no one. You're struggling for affiliate. If you just get friends to come and watch you so you can get affiliate, awesome. That's literally what I did. I just said to people, "Hey, I just need you to lurk. Don't have to talk. I just need you to sit in the stream so I get affiliate."
Yeah.
And then outside of that, it's just there's different tactics that we'll go through a bit later in how to grow, but that was it. I started out
So
just wanting to be on
League of
League of
Legends.
Legends. Yeah, through and through,
Huh.
man. Through and
Interesting.
through. And back then I was an AD carry main. Um, yeah, and I was real trash. I'm still trash now, but I was real trash.
That's super
Um,
interesting. Just like starting off the back of like, well, I'm playing the game anyway.
yeah, yeah,
It's cool.
exactly. Like I'm already there. Like I always knew. I guess when I started playing League of Legends, I always said I wanted to go in with a more positive mindset. So now any of my viewers from my stream and stuff, and I'm sure Corvy's channel know this as well, is I'm not toxic. I refuse to be
Mm.
toxic. If I start getting toxic, I'll actually stop. And I'm like, no, 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 that's not the type of player or person or streamer I want to be. I'm not here to do that. So ever since day one, I've had the exact same mentality of I'm here to be a positive League of Legends gamer and make the game better.
Nice.
Obviously, it's going to take me another 20, 30 years, but I still think it's possible. But that's just my own ridiculous vision that I've had people laugh at me, man.
Mm.
Like daily, they're just like, it's not going to happen. I'm like, all right, man, that's cool. Like, that's your opinion. I'm just going to be over here vibing. And still today, I'm still going. But no, Corby, let's throw it back to you. What got you into streaming? When did you start? Tell me the story.
Well, I wasn't always streaming. I did everything first. Like I made videos on YouTube like 14 years ago.
Wow.
Like Call of Duty. I remember recording on like my family's like handheld like video camera. I stacked it on a bunch of books and I was doing 1v1s with my friends. I just thought it was fun. So I've been like recording gameplay reactions and stuff for fucking giga years.
Holy
And
shit.
then that went into like uploading like Minecraft stuff, uploading like Call of Duty
Mm,
stuff, like commentaries. I've done like zombie stuff, and then I got bored. I like stumbled across people streaming on like Justin TV ages ago, and then I'm like,
jeez.
this doesn't look good. And then I didn't want to touch it, and then I started streaming. Affiliate didn't exist,
Yeah.
so
Far out.
I went live. I was playing Minecraft, and Kingdom Hearts was the first game that I played.
True.
Internet in Australia was too shit to stream anything else. So I
Yeah.
was starting to play League of Legends probably a year into live streaming on Twitch, but I couldn't live stream it because it's like 200 ping,
You just
500
tap out.
ping on the American server when I was playing. So it
Yeah,
was shit.
That's actually when I started streaming. I started technically
Yeah.
streaming back when it was just moving over to the O server. But I played on
Guess I
NA
wasn't
for
gonna do that
years.
shit. NA
Yeah.
sucked, dude. It was
Oh,
160 ping flat. Playing on that today, oh man, no, it wouldn't happen.
yeah, no, I
But
can't.
But the more I streamed, the less I wanted to do YouTube stuff. And then I remember making a video like 8 years ago saying, "Oh yeah, streaming's where it's at. I like streaming
Yeah.
a bit more, like content wise, because like if you're a small YouTuber, you don't see or talk to anyone. But if you're a small streamer, you at least talk to like one or two people. And I think
Yeah.
I just really like that. So then I just stayed streaming. I ended up moving in with grandma. My internet got better. Started streaming League of Legends stuff, and I've done everything under the sun. But yeah, you're 100% right. The first 2 3 years, it's like one person pops in for like 2 seconds. And if you're not, the way that I would say it in my head, it's like someone comes in just to view, to see
Yeah.
what this is about. And if they're not interested, they leave.
Yeah.
So you need to constantly be like talking, explaining what's going on, and trying to interact with nobody. So if someone
Yeah.
comes in, they can like feel a part of it straight away. A lot easier these days because you can still bounce stuff off chat and the vibes are different. But yeah,
Mm.
definitely weird.
I think one tip that I learned really early on, like really early on, like this was probably like maybe the first like 6 months, is you just gotta learn to talk to yourself. If
Mm,
no one's there, and you and I both have times where that happens, where not many people are talking, they're off playing
yeah.
games and stuff too, and it goes quiet. You just talk to yourself, and that in itself, if someone's lurking and just listening to you playing, they'll hear you say something that just either makes zero sense or is funny or that they want to respond to, and that gets them back. So it's like
Yeah.
you got to love being able to talk to yourself. If you can't love doing that, it's actually really hard. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage to stream too, because you need to have that interaction with yourself. Because if you can't entertain yourself, how are you supposed to entertain someone else?
Yeah, and that's when it weeds out the people that are like kind of just doing it just to like get giga money slash fame immediately,
Mm,
and the people that actually love doing it. Because
mm,
like I said, I've been love doing content shit for since I was a kid, and I didn't even have good internet. So it's like if no one was watching today, I'd still probably go live.
yeah,
It's just this is all I know how to do, what to do in my spare time, and I love this shit. So yeah, you're right. It's like overhearing someone's conversation at the pub. If someone's in your chat
yeah,
and they're doing their own thing, your ears prick up when they say something that's interesting to you.
yeah,
That's how I see it. Like when you're live streaming, because like something interesting, like a pentakill, or you just start yelling or ranting and raving about something, and
yeah.
people come in and start talking with you.
But okay, so as that sort of comes out, so let's look at how growth. How is
Hmm.
growth maybe the next big step in this? And what did we do to begin to get a following? Like, what would you say was your
Okay.
turning point there, Corby?
Well, I went through a couple different mindsets. I went through my first mindset was I need to be live like 14, 15 hours a day. And
Yep,
I did that for a while.
yep,
And that just ended up being dog shit content because like you're kind of dead. And then I went through a time of thinking, okay, well, I'll just go live for 2 hours and then I'll make that good content and I'll have a break and I'll come back later and then do another 2 hours. No shit. So the thing that I would say to like start growing is just have a regular time ish when you
yep.
go live every day, whether that be for 3 hours or whatever. Just go live every single day at that time and you just cement yourself a little bit of a spot and just greet everyone as they come in.
Yeah, I back that 100%. Like, it's funny how you sort of get to streamers at like our tier where we have been around the block a couple times. The premise of streaming is exactly the same. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same. Nothing's changed. Everyone does the same things because that's just what works. It's the bread and butter. But no, it's schedule, a strict
Yeah.
schedule. If you're starting out streaming and you're like learning to adapt, I go off just I'm like, okay, if I go live roughly around 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, it's like, okay, people know that I'm roughly on around that time. No matter if I'm a little bit late or a little bit early, they know, and that's part
Yeah.
of the ritual. And then people build a ritual around that, and they'll come and watch you. But yeah, 3 hours. 1 second, guys. We just got one little thing happening. We'll be right back.
Can we pause, please?
And
So I
we're
can
back.
leave?
Uh,
Okay.
just needed someone to leave the room, and they did not feel like they wanted to be on camera, so that's okay. But no,
That's cute.
I lost my train of thought. Ah, dang. Um,
No, it was about like scheduling and stuff and making sure
yeah,
people know like they can come in and be or at least be online and they could see you there. It builds like
yeah,
routine in like the view like people that view your streams and stuff. It's the same reason why like TV shows are on at 6 o'clock at night. Like you can
yeah,
watch The Simpsons or the news at 5 every single night. And you
yeah,
know that you flick over there, oh, the news isn't on. Oh, a broadcast might be pushing it back or something. It's just
yeah.
about finding that oh, they're coming to go see you at this
Yeah.
stage.
And then there's two other little points that I'd probably put into that. One is if you find people in game, um, start playing with them. That's what I actually found, and it's how I've made so many good friends. Is you find the people that you've met in game, and they naturally will just be like, "You're a cool guy. Let's play more games." Then they'll just come to your stream and just they're a part of it. So I think
Yeah.
it's not being afraid to deal with strangers is another big part. Because again, you're streaming anyway. Everyone's technically a stranger. They're a name on a screen. You need to
Mm.
be able to sort of step outside your comfort zone, and I think that's the big thing with gamers, right? A lot of gamers and stuff for streamers, they're not naturally what's the word?
Sociable, kind of like going out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. What there's
So
this introvert and extrovert, that's it. You
yeah,
got to be a bit of an extrovert for that, because if you can't just strike up a conversation and talk randomness to a person, um what's going to be their interest? Why do they want to talk with you? A lot of people feel more comfortable being behind a keyboard, which is fair enough. That's keyboard warriors, big respect to you. But yeah, like as a streamer, you are in the public's eye. You're in front of them every day. You got to
yeah.
feel confident in that. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, well, going into that, we've probably seen a whole bunch of people start and then stop streaming. What are some mistakes that you think that other streamers have done that led to them ultimately quitting or just like stop doing what they're doing?
The big one is over expecting results. That they
Yeah,
go into streaming thinking that they're the bee's knees, and they're like, "Yep, I'm gonna make partner in like 3 months. I just have to stream certain amount of time. If I stream this, I'll get that." It's like, and they go in and they realize, "Holy shit, this is hard," and then they have nowhere to go, and then they're
yeah,
so caught up in their head with where they think they're meant to be, but they're just not. That they just fall short. They're like, "Well, why am I still here?" And they give up. It's the um it's every word that I'm trying to think of today is just not coming to me.
yeah.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, perfect.
That's it.
That's perfect. Yeah. Plus, there's a point that I put on later on in the conversation that I wanted to touch on. It's the negative stigma about like trying to make it as a streamer and then ultimately failing and being like
Mm,
embarrassed to like not reach those unreal expectations you set for yourself. Like you just said, it's like,
mm,
oh, I'm gonna have. If you set out goals and write them down and you don't achieve them, I've seen people just stop
yeah.
or like they immediately find success in something else and they just stay doing that. I feel like people just want to have their bit of attention for a while and then
Yeah.
once they get that somewhere else, they'll immediately drop everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, the mistake that I see people like fall into is pretty much the same. That or they get caught up in trying to do something big when they're just starting. It's
Yeah.
like
I was
they're
gonna
like,
say
"All
that
right, well,
too.
we're gonna do this huge thing with all this interaction with chat and everything like this, and it's gonna be so nice." It's like, yeah, look, that idea would work if you have like 100 people watching you, but no one's in your chat right now. You just need to go live and build an audience. You can't be like, we're gonna do this huge chat interaction stream, and it's like you're gonna feel super shitty because there's no one in chat.
It's actually so funny. That's literally what has happened. I got invited to an organization, sort of sidebar from streaming, but it is meant to be streamed, of a bunch of different orgs trying to come together and make a big tournament, like an Iron to Plat. The Discord went dead within a week.
Hmm.
They made a full server. It had everything lined up. It was looking pretty good. And then they're just like, yeah, we're going to do it. Silence.
Yeah,
No one wanted to commit. And I was like,
yeah,
all
the
right.
pulling the trigger.
And I even said that to one of the guys. I was like, dude, you know this isn't going to work, right? They're like, why not? And I'm just like, you are trying to shoot for the stars, but you're on a bicycle. And they're just like, oh, but that's possible. I'm like, no, 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 no. You're on a bicycle and you're trying to fly. You're not ET, all right? Scale it back. I even said, scale it back. You'll get a better response. Then you build. He's like, oh, yeah, no, no worries, no worries. Didn't. Went real hard. And then everyone's like, nah, fuck that. This is shit. I was like, okay, like I've been here longer than most. I'll give you the advice. But yeah, so I think I totally agree. I think shooting too big too early
Yeah.
is bad. You need to know your limits. You need to know where you're sitting. Like there's a pecking order at the same time. If you want to start a
Hmm.
tournament, go find someone with a bigger audience and pitch it to them.
Yeah.
Try to get them involved. That's what
There's
collaboration is
nothing
the best
wrong.
thing.
Yeah, that is literally a collaboration. You
Yeah.
may not have the following now, but like if you have like an idea and you want to like help them prepare it,
Yeah.
a lot of people I know, being in amateur esports, if we can tie it there, are
Mm,
looking for people who are just keen to just help out and do shit.
yeah.
So if you're like keen to help out and do shit, and you show the fact that you can follow through, which is a big one,
Yeah.
is like because a lot of people come through and they say, "Oh, we're going to do this," and it's that instant gratification thing again.
Yeah.
They just don't follow through. Like if the first thing doesn't do well, then they just stop. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's about finding that consistency, and you're so
Yeah.
right. So there's a lot of I feel like that mistake it kind of breeds through a lot of things, not only content creation, like in esports as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I guess it takes us to the next little bit. The things we have considered as we have gone on this streaming grind. Like what have we sort of looked at as we've gone
Hmm.
through as to where we were, how far we've come, where we want to go to? Like
Okay.
let's talk maybe about the grind itself.
Sure. Well, I usually, and I feel like this is, I don't ask as many questions as I possibly should, but I observe what a lot of other people are doing and
Mm,
trying to find how that would work for me. Because I know certain streamers go live for X amount of time,
mm,
so I look on X amount of time for myself. And you said something about the same about going live at 6 o'clock. The
yep.
way that I would put that in my head is it's like, okay, what's the time in America? What's the time in EU? What's the time for
Mm,
most Australians? Because my audience is probably going to be 20% America, 10% EU, and 70% Australia.
mm,
So I need to make 70% happy, but if I can touch on other things, I'll be happy. So if I go live at like 8 and I'm live for this amount of time, then I can touch these demographics and most people in Australia can still watch. So I'm trying to build an idea of when people are looking to watch a live
mm.
stream. That's probably the main thing I've considered. What about you?
I've I would say I do agree. I think mine's more about the work-life balance, right? If we're
Mm.
putting it in real work terms, because streaming is a job. If you treat it any less than that, you will fail. Because you need to have not to say that you don't enjoy it, because obviously if you're streaming, you enjoy it, but you should be
Yeah, you
enjoying your
have
job
to
at the
treat
same
it as
time.
something.
Yeah, treat it as like something you're dedicated to. Because I think for my grind is like when I got into my relationship with Caffeinated Cutie, I said, "Hey, streaming is a priority to me." And then she was like, "You know what? I support it." I was like, "Great!" Like, and she helped me set up this awesome room, and now I've got like a full space to do it. And she can still come in and game whenever she wants, and it doesn't. But she's left when I said she could game, but that's a whole other thing. But like, I think realizing that there is so
Yeah,
much more put into the back end of it than you realize. So the
yeah,
grind in itself doesn't stop when you press the going live and you stop streaming, right? Um,
yeah.
the grind is I wake up and I'm like, oh, this would be a cool idea for a stream overlay.
I
And you're
can't
like,
stop thinking about it,
you
man. I'm the
can't,
same.
man. Like it just keeps coming to you. And I had one the other day, and I'm just like, I want to get some sort of weird Shrek overlay into my stream, but like something
Yeah.
really stupid. Um, and then I saw the meme of the Hogwarts Legacy of the guy turning his broomstick into Shrek, and I was just like, I could easily just put my face on top of that guy and then have that as a clip. I was like, I kind of just want to do it. And that's so stupid and it means nothing. And 99% of the time, it's probably not going to happen. Now that I've said it, I want to do it. But you know what I mean? Like, the grind for me is the grind's every day, every minute.
Yeah,
If this is where you want to be, your grind is you live, breathe, and experience being a streamer.
yeah.
Um, and I wake up, and it's funny, and I can get into this maybe a little bit later on, but when I wake up in the morning, I'll hit myself with those good affirmations, and one of those affirmations is, I am a successful and powerful streamer. And when I hear myself say that,
Powerful.
I know it sounds weird though, right? But if you don't say that, like Mid Beast, let's use Mid Beast as an example. Do you think that guy goes around and he's sort of just like, yeah, I'm pretty good? Nah, he goes, yeah, man, I'm a fucking good streamer. I've made a big name for myself. I make bank. Like he
Yeah,
probably thinks he's pretty fucking powerful, and he is. Like he gets his own fucking like panel at like DreamHacks. Like that in sense of a community and an experience is
yeah,
power. So when I wake up, I'm like, I'm a fucking successful and powerful streamer. I'm embodying what Midbeast is, right? And that's
yeah.
just something I've done for the last 5 years.
Yeah, I
Um,
think talking to yourself a little bit and trying to like, because there's going to be no one that's ever going to say anything about you being successful as a streamer in your own community
yeah,
or in your own. Well, sometimes people say, dude, I hope you make it. Like, that's probably like something that I've received a lot. Is like, you're
yeah.
really good. I hope you make it. Hidden
Mm,
gem stuff. But there's no one at the start when you go live with no viewers. No one's going to say, you're going to be a good big streamer. This is
yeah,
what you need to do. It's all on you.
yeah,
So yeah, you're right. The grind is like, how can I make my stream better? How can I be better? Oh, this is sick. And if you
yeah.
can keep that train of thought going 100%, like there's literally at that stage nothing stopping you from getting 10 viewers, 20 viewers, and like slowly growing. Because if you're thinking about growing and being better and you're telling yourself you can make it, you're going to be better, that positive affirmation is just going to take you way further than you would imagine.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Like, well, that's going down a whole nother rabbit hole, and I can
Yeah,
probably talk about like motivation, all that sort of shit for donkeys here. So let's move on to the next thing.
sure.
Things people get caught up on that don't really matter.
All right. Well, this is something that I put in because I wanted to talk about it really quickly.
Yeah.
I used to do this thing when people would come in and they say, "Oh, I just started streaming. Could you check me out?" Usually they're just trying to self plug, but
Yeah.
I would go onto their stream and then just flame them for like 5-10 minutes. If you have a donate button when you have no viewers, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
If you like spend days, weeks, months not streaming because you're like, I have to get the right alerts, the right overlays and shit. I have to get all this sorted. No, that's just that shit doesn't matter. Like honestly, people have the biggest streamers in the world at the moment. Some of them still have the basic like default
Yeah.
alerts for the stream. No one's going to be like, this guy has a sick alert. I'm going to stay here forever. Literally, no one's thought that.
No.
So just go focus on what's really important. Content's king. No one cares about the bells and whistles
Yeah.
that come with it. They can be like little inside jokes about your community or like memes that reference stuff that's ingrained in your community.
Mhm.
But it ultimately doesn't matter to begin. Stop focusing on it so much. Just go live and build the community first.
Yeah. No, I think the aesthetic. It's exactly what you said, but it's the aesthetic. People get caught up in like, oh, I need the best overlays to make my stream really pop. And I'm like, yeah, cool. My overlays are just bright as fuck. So when you're scrolling through, the idea behind that is you just see, oh, that's a lot of fucking blue.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll click on that. I like the color blue. And
See,
I've had
the
people
blue-
come in.
Yeah, see, I've changed my icon on Twitch 1,000 times. I've gone back to the old icon that I used to have because it's Lyric Blue. I copied Lyrics Blue. He's a huge streamer, and the reason why is because that blue, if you're in dark mode, pops the fuck out.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's electric blue, man. I'm all over it. So, because I've got the graphic design knowledge behind me, like half this shit I just do on a base level, but I don't even realize I'm doing it. But that's the thing, it's like people get caught up in that. And it's only because we're at our level that I'm sort of like, okay, I know how to stream. I know how to interact with my community. I know
It's
how
about
to
getting eyes.
it's
at that
now
stage.
getting people's attention. That's what it is. So, and that's the hardest thing with like going viral is finding that one clip that you can post up on another social and it just goes bang.
Yeah.
Next minute you're gonna have people come into your stream, and that's a big part of how streamers do actually blow up.
Okay.
But we can get into that in a little bit. But I
Sure.
think that doesn't really matter.
Let's steer into something that I think's pretty good. When it comes down to your community, there's a lot of tips on like when to go live, what you should talk to. Maybe it can be a personal one for you, and if you don't have one, throw it back to me. What is a secret tip that no one really says about streaming that you would say helps build a community?
That helps build a community.
Yeah. If you don't have one, I can start off.
I have one. It's stick to your morals.
Okay.
So don't sell out is the big
Yeah,
one.
I agree with that
Yeah.
in a way too.
That's
So
the big
do
thing
you want
for
to
me.
elaborate a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah. So I remember back in the day, I had a lot of people who loved the stream. They loved coming in. They donate a lot, but then they would expect you to be their best friend because they're paying you. So my morals were like, no, I don't buy love. You earn love. So when these people were like, well, why don't you do this? I want you to do it. I've sent you all this money. I'm like, I never asked you to send me money.
Yeah, it gets a bit fucked up when they say that.
I was like, I actually just, I'm doing this because I love doing it. Why are you expecting more? And then they would be like, oh, well, you're being a dick. And then they'd rant and rave and they'd chuck a hissy fit. And I've had severe issues coming out of that because I've had people that I did so much for, and I've definitely developed some severe trust issues from gamers online. But I think you sort of go through that motion. You eventually hit a block where someone's like betrayed your trust to no end, and you sort of get fucked up. But you got to stick to your morals. Like my moral then was like, I'm not here to please you. I'm here to please myself. Because at the end of the day, it's my stream. It's not your stream. So if you don't want to be there, and if you're not happy with it, I don't care how much money you're willing to donate. Fuck off.
Interesting. Yeah, that kind of makes me want to divert off a little bit to like the parasocial like talk that's been going around often. It's like people that grow very close to the streamers and stuff, especially bigger streamers. They're saying that they're
Mm,
really worried about how people like attach themselves to them, and they
mm,
don't really know them. But I want to talk that into and talk to you about it, especially because I have a different view, especially as a smaller streamer. I
mm.
see people's names and how they are, what they're up to, like every day for like weeks,
Yeah.
months, years, and because it's smaller, way more close knit. I
Mm,
don't like that. That parasocial almost goes two ways because like I like enjoy seeing them in the stream. I do have a friendship with a lot of these people,
mm,
and when I hear streamers that are around my size completely write that off as parasocial relationships, they don't know me, they don't care.
mm.
It's a different type of relationship. I would
Yeah.
100% agree, but I still like consider a lot of these people in my chat my friends.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like, I can honestly tell you right now, every single person who's in my chat is my friend to some degree. I'm not going to say that
Yeah.
they're like good
It's a
friends.
different friendship.
Yeah, it is. It's a new type of dynamic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like there are people who donate a lot. Is in my channel and stuff, and I absolutely love them for it because they know it helps the stream. Everything I earn goes back to the stream. But a lot of them now have realized that it's when they donate, they're doing it just to help me, so
Yeah.
it's actually having that really good, clear communication with your chat, being like, "Hey guys, so this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
This is where I'm at." I'm talking from a past experience where people would donate trying to be my best friend, and I'm like, well, "I'm sorry, like you're not my best friend. My best friend's somewhere else. Like they live down the road, and we go for beers every second Sunday. Like that's the
Mhm.
different story." So I think that's the different dynamic that I was sort of referring to. Like right now, people do it because they want to see me succeed, and I'm at that level where any little dollar helps. So
Yeah.
that's the difference, and I would still say they're all friends, and I invite every single one of them to my games all the time because I'm just like I love playing games with you guys. You're all a vibe, so that's
Yeah,
the
for
sort of
sure.
dynamic. So I totally agree with you where this the what did you say, parabounds,
Yeah, parasocial relationships.
parasocial relationships is so interesting because there's no, it's so hard to determine what level that is as well, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just join in someone's chat instantly and
Mm.
become good friends with them. You got to build that over time.
Yeah, I've definitely had people that join and then they I feel like they're kind of doing this weird, almost social climbing aspect, and they just kind of want to get into a community, get a higher ranking in that community, and then
Yep.
gatekeep people. I've had a lot of those people in my
Yeah.
community, and it's really hard to like discern people who just want to like hang out and
Yep.
be there,
Yep.
or people that just want to like feel high standing in a smaller community as well.
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts on those people.
Yeah, so do I, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to discern them. So it's like, what can you do? You just kind of have to be accepting of everyone. And like at the end of the day, just hopefully finding the best in people, and then
Yeah.
they reflect those thoughts that you have of them
Yeah.
is a good thing.
Yeah. I think yeah, it's you got to have a little bit of trust to start with. I'm
Mm,
a big believer in myself. If you break that trust twice, it's like fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like
mm.
if you break that trust twice, that's sort of my limit. I'll be like, sorry, like it's well, this is where
Yeah.
you're gonna reduce your power. If you're welcome to stay, but you're not going to have as much of an influence just because you're trying to gain a title.
Yeah, and that's the thing with being like a smaller content creator, because those numbers that pop up when someone else comes in, you're really hungry for those. So it's
Yeah,
like you don't really want to push people away, but at the same
yeah,
time, you're so right that it is about setting a line. And if you keep surrounding yourself or allowing people to do that in your circle, then that they're the people that are going to be representative of you when someone else comes in.
yeah,
So yeah, keeping a solid foundation of a community will help you grow much further than
yeah,
anything. So you're 100% right.
yeah, man. Now, do you have any other secret little tips that you have?
Oh yeah, memes. Memes is a huge one. The
Memes.
secret sauce is memes and consistent jokes that can be repeated and then ingrained within a community. It's something that just it's like saying like if someone comes in and they see a certain joke and that joke being easily picked up by people who are like new in the channel, whether that be
Yeah,
like making fun of Midbeast because he misses cannons, or like making fun of Asmongold because he's bald.
yeah.
It's memes that can be picked up easily, and it can be ran through in a positive way, of course. It's not just
Yeah.
bullying, but yeah.
We
it,
hope.
yeah, it helps you get into the community a lot easier because there's
Yeah.
nothing more frightening than joining a group of friends as they're talking and not
Mm.
knowing what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, for sure. No, I
Yeah.
totally agree. And it's hard to keep talking in that sense because you don't know what to say or how to respond. That's actually the biggest problem I have with the LCO.
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
people talking in the LCO chat. I want to join in, but they're all. It
Yeah, there's a lot
feels
of weird shit going on in the LCO
yeah.
chat, to be fair. Yeah.
So I sort of just wait till I see someone I know, and then I'm just responding to them. And
Yep.
I'm like, oh, cool. So I at one point I was tempted to hit up like 5 or 6 people and be like, hey, can we just go chat in the LCO chat and just talk shit, just so I
Yeah.
don't look like I'm a psycho, just trying to communicate with people that do not know anything about me. And then they
100%.
did it. I was like, fuck yeah, this is a vibe. And we just talking, being like, oh, nice flash, bitch. Pretty sure Mordred picked up on that one real quick. But yeah.
Well,
So I think I agree. I think memes and jokes, inside jokes that inside of where you are is fantastic.
yeah, for sure. Well, let's bring it back down to a more serious note. Now we've
Mm,
talked about where we can begin, tips to grow and stuff. What do you think about new streamers starting today? Can new streamers even grow in the climate?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I
Mm.
think it's not
The
about being a
barrier of
streamer
entry is
anymore.
way higher now.
Yeah, it's not about being a streamer anymore. I
Yeah.
feel like this whole title of content creator is what you need to be. You need to be on every platform. You need to be
Hmm.
spamming content. It is not a part-time or casual job. To
Yeah, not
grow,
anymore.
to the growth aspect is you need to be on everything,
Yep.
blasting everywhere. If your face is on not on a social media platform, why is it not there?
Hmm.
And as someone who's got a marketing background, it is the hardest part of the job, which is why so many fail.
Yep. I would 100% agree with you. That's a super good way of putting it. I was about to say that it is way harder. The barrier of entry is definitely different
Mm,
because back when I started streaming, it didn't really matter if you weren't 1080p 60 FPS streamer.
yeah,
It didn't really matter if like your webcam or microphone quality was dog shit. But these days, better computers, better internet speeds,
yeah,
higher access to like stuff. If I know you don't have to have the best gear to start, but
mm,
there is a requirement, almost a minimum requirement of what you need to have to
yeah,
like be to start growing. And the minimum requirements is decent upload speed and a microphone. You don't
yep,
need to have a camera,
yeah,
but you do need to be able to interact with chat, and
yeah,
the video quality of stuff you're watching needs to be okay.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And at the same time, that's not actually that hard. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
not hard to achieve. It's just do your homework. If you don't do your homework, find someone who can do your homework for you and just put money
Hmm.
towards it. You got to have a little bit of kitty in there to start with, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, okay. So now that we're sort of onto that and talking about streamers growing, let's move
Hmm.
on to platform wars. I think
Yeah.
this is a topic you and I might know a little bit about, but a lot of new people, especially, might not know too much about. So, so what platform was on streaming? So it's like this is around like esports streaming, YouTube versus Twitch, even their own internal websites and stuff. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, well, we're seeing it more in Western. I don't know about like the Chinese websites. I know there used to be a Zubu and a whole bunch of other ones, but we
Yeah.
won't touch on them because probably not don't know as much. But
Mm,
live streaming was very much cornered on Twitch.
yep.
The YouTube tried to do stuff 10 years ago. I have a very bad stream from 10 years ago where I was trying it out. It's shit. But Twitch cornered it pretty much, and
Yeah.
that market was very much locked down. Like the
Mm,
gaming, everything was all on Twitch. Now people wanted a piece of that. Like DLive came in, Mixer came in, like Facebook came in for a while there. I don't know what they're doing anymore, and YouTube stuck around a little bit more. And I wanted to talk to you on an individual basis as well, if you've thought about going over. And I also wanted to touch on a little bit later about esports and how like they're not even a part of the conversation about like going on content platforms.
mm.
So have you thought about streaming on other things?
Uh, yes and no. I think
Hmm.
when the hype, I think the big thing, there's always hype around a new platform and all that sort of stuff is, but you got to know when to stick to your guns.
Yeah.
The classic example is like Ninja. It's like all those big names that got bought out by Mixer went over. Their following still followed them, but they still went back to Twitch.
Yeah, they all fell off as well.
Yeah,
That they like Ninja was 100K. He streamed twice a day,
yeah,
6 hours, had a whatever break, and then another 6 hours. That was
mm,
him at his peak. And he at that time he was 100K Andy on both streams. It was
yeah,
fucked up. Then he went Mixer and he had barely 10K on Mixer. And when he came back, he's now on 3K. So he's fell off.
yeah. So I think that's the big thing is moving is such a volatile thing. If you're not moving for the right reason, and a lot of the reason for a lot of people is money, um, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
And I guess that comes down to when you hit that level tier, which we're not even at that level though, so it's hard to talk from experience. But when
Mm.
you hit that level, do you stick to your guns and talk about what we've sort of said from like day one, we've focused on this is what we wanted to be, or do you sell out? Which is what they technically did. They sold out for the money, for the quick buck, and
100%.
it's fucked them over.
Yeah, well, at that stage, it's like it see, if at that stage, if I was in the same shoes, I probably would have done the same thing as
Yeah.
them. But let me clarify the reason why.
Mm,
Is because if you're at the stage where you can get like, let's say it's only a $2 million contract. I know they get like 200 million, but whatever.
mm,
I feel like I can almost cut a lot of the fat off Twitch by losing a lot of my viewer and go away for a little bit, earn my money like an actual job, and then come back and reignite myself
mm,
with my community that's a lot smaller
yeah.
without the burdens of having to worry about extra brand deals,
Mm,
integrating this stuff to make new money. I need to like make sure this is a job that can sustain me for a long period of time. I feel like that would be liberating in a way.
yeah.
But you're so right with your point previously about like having a backbone and sticking to your morals, like as your secret of
Yeah.
being a big streamer, because people don't really want to get behind or support someone who's all like wishy-washy, kind of like wet paper.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. So back to the I guess the initial one about whether I would do it. Like I'm on YouTube. I'm just not
Hmm.
as active on YouTube. I don't stream to YouTube because I know that's not my market. My market of YouTube is posting videos or shorts and
Mhm.
knowing that they go out and my viewers can enjoy little bits of content. But again, that's the hardest thing for me at the moment is finding time to edit that. So
Yeah,
it's
shit,
like
yeah.
you got to be smart about how you do it. But I was told by heaps of people, but hey, go stream on YouTube. You'd be way more successful on YouTube. And I was just like, nah, it's not about the money
Yeah.
because we know Twitch pays shit. We know it's shit, but it's just
Yeah.
what it is. Like it's
Plus,
just
we've
where
been
we
here
are.
so long, and
Yeah,
like our viewers are here, and our audience is built up here, and
yeah,
like people come in from ages ago, like 2 years ago when they were
yeah.
following me, and they come in just to check up what I'm up to, and I feel like I would miss out on all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I
So
think what when you pick a specific place to stream, and just an FYI, there is Facebook streaming, there is Facebook gaming. I've just found it is more mobile based games that are streamed on
mm,
there, as far as I'm
yeah,
aware. So it's all FPS shooters and mobile games.
if Facebook, it feels weird. It almost feels like it's illegal, like an NFT or
Yeah.
something. It kind of feels fucked up.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to put it because you see the occasional clip on YouTube, Facebook when you're scrolling through, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah,
And then you
it
sort of
feels
like,
it feels
yeah.
wrong.
And then you're like, I just need to go back to Twitch just for 5 minutes just to reset my mental capacity.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, you know what I've noticed on fucking Facebook gaming? It's always
I
those
don't know.
guys on those truck driving simulators. And they're like driving like on those artificial games trying to go up those ramps that are like fucking paper thin. And you're like, bro, how the hell is he doing this? And you're watching, you're like, why the fuck am I interested?
Yeah, like
That's all I've noticed.
yeah, and then the video has like 12 billion views, and it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah. So I think it's not about moving platforms. I think it's about utilizing platforms to your advantage. Knowing
Yeah,
what your purpose is with it is such a big thing.
yeah, I agree. And for those people thinking that multi-streaming works, it can to an extent,
Yeah.
but you just end up watering down
Yeah.
your ability to talk to new people on your stream.
Yeah.
So you're streaming to like a million different platforms and someone pops up on a streaming site that you're not looking at or not active with, or
Mm,
even if you are and you have all the chats open, you're kind of alienating every single other platform just to focus on talking to that one guy. And
yeah.
if you're not talking to that one guy, he's just going to leave.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just damned if you do, damned if you don't at that stage. So multi-streaming can work if you're just only using the other platforms as like storing VODs,
Yeah.
and then you just stream on Twitch.
Yeah. I think another thing there, if you're going to stream on more than one platform, the aim of the game right now, and this is like a little insider tip that I know is working for so many people, TikTok.
Hmm.
Stream on TikTok. It's because you can use your phone and have your phone's chat of you live up in front of you where your computer is. If you just have a phone stand, streaming on TikTok and Twitch, you'll have your Twitch chat and then you got your TikTok chat right next to it at the same time.
Yeah.
Not most of the time people are talking on TikTok, but that's people want to see your account active. That's the
Yeah.
difference because the algorithm on TikTok is so phenomenal. It is a billion light years ahead of fucking Twitch in regards to availability,
Yeah.
findability, all that sort of stuff. Because there is no way to get noticed on Twitch without getting Twitch being like, "Hey, we like your content. We're going to put you on the homepage." Without
Yeah. Big
that,
number.
yeah, you are literally another fucking streamer that Twitch is like, oh, just a little bit more money for us. That's cool.
Yeah,
Whereas
literally.
TikTok algorithm is like, oh, if people have liked your content or seen anything or have a hashtag related to it, they'll find you instantly. Do you know
Yeah,
how
it's
many
kind of
times?
crazy.
Do you know how many times I find Electro on fucking live when I'm scrolling through TikTok? Like
Huh,
4 or 5 times every
that's
time I'm
crazy.
scrolling. I'm just like, dude, just fucking go do something else with your day. I don't want to see your purple robe, but damn, I respect you. Um,
So here we can go into something else. Like Mixer and that, they bought out individual like people and personalities and creators and stuff. Something that I thought was interesting, we've seen it only once with Overwatch League.
mm,
Why aren't like streaming platforms buying out like whole esports tournaments and stuff?
is there money to be made?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking because it's just like the personalities and creators can bring an audience, yeah, and that's how they make the money off it. Uh, is it solely just because you can't subscribe to an esports like channel, like with money?
Yeah, I'd say so.
It seems
Like,
so strange why it's not. It's like Channel 7 has the cricket.
yeah.
It's like, I don't understand why Twitch has League and YouTube is like, fuck you, I have Dota. I don't know why they aren't fighting for it. It seems so strange.
I'm gonna put it down to the brands have identified their highest. I'm gonna put it in gamer terms: win capacity.
Mhm.
They know their win con.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like League of Legends knows there's a fuckload of people on Twitch watching it. Tyler One is like a big part of that. A lot of the other streamers as well are all streaming on Twitch. So it makes sense that they would stream their pro games on Twitch.
Hmm.
Whereas like if you look at other platforms, how like even other games like Rocket League and stuff, they're all streaming on Twitch because they know that's where their market is, and they're huge. They are
Yeah.
massive. Um, but I think we are starting to see that these organizations are starting to build internal servers for asking people to go watch, which is giving the incentives. Like League of Legends, we have the LOL esports that you can go to. You can get drops when there's like MSI Worlds on. You can get free shit
Yep.
in game. Like that's a smart tactic. And how many people get free shit because they'll just have one open lurking and the other one that they'll probably actually be watching, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's a hard question without being well into it, and it might be something we have to ask one of the um, org leaders if we can get some people from the LCO in. We can ask them that question and say what is your plan moving forward to get off Twitch?
Yeah, I just always thought it was like an interesting question because I see that people that have these exclusivity contracts, and I always thought
Mm,
that esports, like normal sporting stuff, it would get signed to a certain platform. And something that we've seen is they're allowing individual streamers to restream like American streamers only, like the NRL. Oh, what is the American football? NFL games.
NFL.
Yeah, I think that's so strange. They're signing exclusivity contracts for real sports to get those eyes onto Twitch. I just don't see why they're like fighting over the already online people. But maybe it's one of those things they just don't think it's worth it.
Maybe they just haven't figured that there's a market for it.
Huge
I
market.
think that's the thing. Like a lot of people who watch gaming, I think they just know that Twitch is for gaming, right? It's just it's a community based gaming society almost.
Hmm.
Why go and watch real sport when you'd go and watch the footy with like your dad? Your dad's not going to come and I wouldn't watch footy with my dad, but you know what I mean? Like you'd watch
Hmm.
footy at home. Like it has that market is already there. I guess
Yeah,
esports is trying to build their own market, and what better place to do than an actual online
true.
space?
How do we think LCO's going with like streaming and the like content and that? How do we think they're doing?
I think they've got a lot of work to do.
I think they're doing pretty good though. If we look how they were when they
Yeah.
started COVID, I think they've grown a lot. ESL has like done a really good job, I
Oh
think,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
providing
I'm
the
not.
studio and all of
Yeah.
that.
I'm
But
not going to
since the
discount that.
studio's been applied,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. I think when they did the webcams, they had just green screens. That was yeah, not great.
hmm,
Studio phenomenally better. It feels like there's an
I
actual
agree.
space for it. But I think there is still a way to go. I think they need to start. I think ESL really needs to put their foot down. It's like the conversation we had with Maka not too long ago, the first interview, about these players that are sort of boycotting the teams.
Yeah,
These players need to, and I think this all again comes down to the money conundrum. These players need to be fucking put in place. Be like, if you're playing at the top tier in Oceania, you fucking just play for whoever you're playing for. You play your best. You win, we'll give you a payout. That's
hmm,
what it needs to be. I think, yeah, in regards to content though, if we're looking exclusively at content, they need to be
Yeah.
stepping up with getting the gamers to stream, making some other little tournament stuff. Like I think Chiefs is the best example where they've got little tournaments here, there, and everywhere, trying to get new talent to come in, play games, do some fun shit, and always having something open for the League of Legends and gaming community to be a part of. I think
Yeah,
that is a
so
big part. So why isn't LCO doing that, right?
yeah, I agree. I feel like LCO could like have little like like not even money matches, little like head-to-head matches and 1v1s and stuff, and
Yeah,
then broadcast those. I know that they did the big sponsorship 1v1 stuff with I believe it was House of Dragon or something.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I would like to see like, in the break, we'll invite someone random from chat to come on and verse one of the casters.
yeah.
Just like small things like that could be interesting, and content wise, it may be better, but I don't know if they're just looking to keep with the we're streaming the games, we're playing the games. But you brought up a
Mm,
good point, and that's actually the next one. Do we think
mm.
LCO should like make extra content with already existing streamers? We talked about Midbeast before. There's other bigger ones in the space. Another one that comes to mind who streams way too much is Incursio.
Yep.
Um, do you think LCO could like bring these people on or like talk to them about content?
Yes. Of course they can.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need to start looking beyond themselves. I feel
Yeah.
like the LCO is developing a little bit of a, and they really shouldn't, a little power complex about themselves. Be like, well, we're the LCO, like we're doing pretty good things. I'm like, no, 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 no. Step up your shit first, then we'll talk about how good you are. Like, go get content creators and do something with them. Be like, hey, would you like to come in and cast one of the games with us just for a bit of shenanigans? We'll do a 3-person cast like we do with Maximize. We'll have 2 proper casters. We'll get one person who's keen just to do something silly and talk some shenanigans to bring in their audience and get them excited too. Like, that's what
Mm.
Tyler One did. Tyler One did that in NA, and then it fucking blew up, and they got heaps of viewers because
Yeah.
everyone who's watching Tyler One doesn't want to watch the fucking LEC. They're not keen on that. They're just like, yeah, we're here to watch Tyler One rage and try and one shot a Malphite in top lane as a gangplank. Like, that's what it's about. So
Yeah.
I agree. They should be getting streamers and collaboration into the space. Even like I think co-streamers a start. Like we've both got
Mm.
co-streamer, awesome. I think there's another level above that.
Yeah, I think it's an empty role though, almost. They're just like saying,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do it. I don't really think there's and I know Carbon tried be on the last co-streaming thing. He tried to get like clips from the co-streamers and their reactions on plays, but like no one really bit, myself included.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of like the feedback wasn't there at that
Mm,
stage, but I would like to see, and you brought up like co-streaming and stuff,
mm.
and getting on and doing casting. I think a good thing that they can do is integrate the pros into like doing their own streams,
Yep.
like maybe even like pro cams or like something for a game.
Yes.
Like they
Oh,
sign a contract for one of the games where it's like, look, we're going to be recording you. Is this okay? And if they get the green light, like just pumping that content out.
I 100% back that. They do that in every other region bar this one. I think it's more so because a lot of those teams play in a house or they're playing in a studio where it's a little bit easier to set up. But we've already seen that they're doing that. Like we're seeing the
Mm.
video recordings. Why can't we have a, I don't know, maybe each team has to go off a dedicated server and then that server's being recorded. It's like just a Discord call. You can record a Discord call. Because they're probably all in Discord anyway, am I right? Like, that's probably what
Yeah,
they're
they
doing.
are.
So,
And when I was working with Gravitas for doing content, there is a weekly schedule and there's a home and away team every single time. And every single time it's air quotes, the home team's turn. They have a slot for content every week. So before every single game, the home team has a spot for their own content every single week, but it's just not utilized. I think it should almost be mandatory.
yeah, I think that should be written into contracts for players. If you are a player on a pro team, you should be able to be recorded during games. You should be streaming 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe you can have people watching scrims. I know scrims are pretty sought after in regards to learning how teams play and all that sort of stuff. But at least watching solo queue, watching
Mhm.
how you react in a society. You're a pro player. A pro football player doesn't go out and just like sort of hide away. You're in the limelight. You are famous. You have
Yeah.
people watching you. These people should be part of the community. They should be leading the community. If I'm being perfectly honest, if these people, and I think that's part of the another contract side of it is they have to prove that they're not toxic. Do you notice that there were
Yeah.
some players that didn't get in because they were proven to be incredibly toxic? We need to see that. I
Yeah,
feel like we
and
don't see that.
yeah, I agree. I feel like that should definitely be a part of it. I feel like being able to stream will only because we've seen Ash do it. Coach Ash, he
Yeah.
does it. He streams and he says, "Coach 4 watches the game.
Yeah.
Pro player 4 is in
Yeah.
solo queue." It ties it into LCO, and it not only gives your team more eyes, it
Mm,
doesn't only give you directly more eyes, but it gives you the league you play for more eyes. And you're always complaining about how there's no money in it. Why aren't you trying to like back it up yourself? It's a
yeah.
slow build. At the moment, we're very, very young as an esports
So
like
young.
region. So yeah, it's really hard. And you touched on toxicity, and it's something that I want to talk to as well. We saw in NA, it was
Mm,
like some Cloud9 drama. I don't really know the 100% of it, but
neither.
I very strongly believe that there is a place for toxicity to make the games interesting. Is there is there like some script writing or something we can do? What do you think about toxicity in esports, man?
Friendly banter is
Yeah,
maybe
I
a
feel
good
like
way
there's
to
a
put it.
definite line.
It's okay. Put it towards like, and I'm throwing you under the bus a little bit here, Corby.
Hmm.
It's Mammoth is the punching bag of Ose.
Yeah,
That got attention,
yeah,
right? That's what we should be doing. Like, why are we not going up and being like, well, Chiefs, you're playing like absolute fucking shit. What's going on there? They're
hmm,
gonna come back and be like, hey, we're not playing like shit. We had a rough matchup. I'm like, oh well, then prove it. Like, back your story, because right now we're just seeing shit. And I love the Chiefs, but that's my experience, right? Like, so I think that should be happening between teams too. But players as well. Like, I want to see like the best players in the region smack talking. I want to see a bit
yeah.
of smack talk on Twitter. Like, Twitter's the best space for it.
Hmm. Yeah, 100% agree with you. I think Twitter is a really good spot to start throwing some shade. I think some players do it, and there was some really good like putting people in their place when they lost. The Chiefs always banter after taking a win. That was good fun.
Yeah.
And look, yeah, I agree with you. I feel it should be a spot where you can analyze the people that are losing in a
Mm,
league, and you can analyze the people that should win games in a league, and talking shit on either way is fine. If the Chiefs come out today and they're versing, let's say, Mammoth, and they're just like, dude, you're a joke. We're gonna beat you so damn hard. And then Mammoth come back is like, oh yeah, but what happens if we win? You're gonna be so embarrassed. It makes people want to watch a game that should be a
yeah.
wash. So
Yeah.
that it should be a W, like no matter what to Chiefs.
Yeah.
We can all agree with that. But if
Yep.
they start shit talking, it will make it so much more fun.
Yeah, I think it comes down to a good marketing background too for these
Hmm.
teams. Like, whoever's running these social media channels needs to know how to set that up in not only a respectful way, but in a way that is entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. You can't
Because
just
yeah,
start shitting on everyone and then like
you can do
expecting
your
everything to
best,
go
Corby.
gardens.
You can do your best. You can just be like, "You're fucking trash, kid. Eat shit," and then you just go and smear their face in the dirt. Like, I don't know. We probably can't go that hard.
Mm.
But yeah, so I think that is really important. I think rivalry in essence is important, but I feel like OS in its, if we look back at OS, doesn't have as much substance to our teams yet for that to really be a huge thing. I
Yeah.
think Mammoth being the punching bag is probably like the only one we can really go off just because of their track record.
Mm.
It's hard because we've got two new teams as well. Like, how do you build them into the scenario?
Yeah, well, they've like I think the two new teams, we can just isolate those. But who wins, who loses between who's better at integrating into the league, and I think Bliss has done a way better job.
Yeah. Oh, I
I don't think
think.
I've heard boo from GZ.
Oh, look, you know what? I think the problem with GZ is, look. No, let's rephrase that. Both teams have very apt names that you could do funny shit with.
Mm.
Be like, oh, it was Bliss just to take Bliss out of the running tonight. Oh, that's a punchy line right there. It's like ground zero. We're gonna put ground zero in the fucking ground. But like, oh, okay, that's some banter right there. That's spicy.
It's slam
Z-
dunk material. It's so
yeah,
easy.
it's they set it up. Like, how do you do it with the Chiefs? It's like, oh, nice work there, Chief. And you just do like a shitty like thumbs up. Like, we've just got to have that click in there because
Yeah,
that's what
audio listeners love you to death. He's clicking and putting his thumb up right now.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you could just do a like super shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
give me another team. Give me another team. I'll come up with something.
A Kanga.
Kanga? Oh, they're hopping mad when we beat them to the shit.
Oh,
Hey, give me
Yeah,
another
you're
one.
right.
I'm on a roll right now. I'm on a roll.
oh shit! Gravitas
Gravitas? Whoa, mate.
really
hard
brought
to-
them down to earth.
Yeah. Oh, no,
man.
it's too easy. Direwolves? They're going to be in dire need of some diapers after we make them shit their pants. It's a bit too long.
So
We could have made that one better.
Just have you fighting with yourself on every like everyone a team's account. Just you
Yeah.
just ratting on yourself.
I'll take control of all of them.
Yeah.
Like, well, Kanga, what do you say to that? Fuck you, dire wolves, you stupid wolves, hunting packs only, bitches. And they just see me, it's just a little video of me typing on my phone, like Rage will be like, oh, what's a good quip to come back against that? And then laughing to myself. But I'm okay. Let's move on as we're getting into it. So let's look at our thoughts on O's content. That's live
Yeah.
versus YouTube versus America. What are our thoughts overall?
I know that we definitely do have OC Australian content creators over the planet. Like they're doing their own stuff. May there be overseas.
Yep.
One comes to name. One person that I used to watch a while ago is the Anime Man. Another person is I Did a Thing, and they seem to break out and they go off into their own into the world. But I never really see like Australian groups or Australian like content just being pushed as strong as I think American and EU content's pushed. A huge one is like see all these American people coming together and making content together in a group or a house, especially streamers. I feel like a big one we can relate it to streamers. We see American groups always collaborating and coming together and doing that. I don't feel that in OCE. What do you
Well,
think?
can I think the reason why is we're all too spread out. Like
Hmm.
that's the thing. Like if you're in America, you can get a cheap flight to the other side of America pretty easily to do content for something. Whereas Australia, it's not that cheap. Like if you want to fly to Melbourne, that's a trip. Like we're so spread out.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna include New Zealand in that too. Like New Zealand is, I'm gonna say part of, well, New Zealand, Australia. I'm not gonna say part of Australia. They're their own thing. Sorry, New Zealand listeners, love you to bits, but don't. Um, but you know what I mean? Like I think it's hard for us to be like, hey, we found a cool group of people, let's get together. Oh wait, two of you live in Perth, one of you is in Tasmania, and one of you is in North Queensland. Shit, like
Yeah.
where do we meet? How do we do this? So I think until streaming in Australia, or at least gaming in Australia, takes off a little bit more, and we start to see some growth, not only financially but like growth in people wanting to view it. I think that's the big thing with OS is we're not really, we feel like we're about 5-10 years behind other regions.
I would agree with that.
That's what I feel like it is. So it's like we can't do a gaming house yet because we're still so far behind.
Yeah.
And once we've caught up, yeah, then we're going to be able to do it because people will be like, sweet, I can make content and I can go do some shit. We just need an OS reality streamer TV show. Like, you know that show? It was like Geeks, Beauty and the Geek. We just need like a Beauty and the Geek, but it's just like
Oh god, that'd be fun.
Beauty and the Streamer. And it's just a bunch of shitty streamers just being like, yeah, I'm an extrovert, come at me. And then they're in person like, oh no. And they're sort of scared.
Yeah.
And then just hot chicks.
Oh yeah.
That'll
That
do
will
it.
always get clicks, I suppose.
Right? That's how we do it.
Yeah. Or we'll get
Um,
you on, man. Just hot dudes.
Hot
Get some
dudes.
man ass going, yeah.
If they came to me and they said, Papa Pike, we want you to be on this show, but you need to be the hot guy, I would quit my job and I'd be hitting the gym 6-7 days a week. And I'd be like,
Hell yeah,
you're paying
brother.
me now, I'm gonna get shredded as fuck. And I'm gonna be beautiful. Like I'm beautiful now, but I mean, we're talking orgasmic beautiful.
Orgasmic beautiful, huh?
3 months. Give me 3 months, Corby, and I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna pay me
Well-
though for my 3 months.
For my segues, wow, that's inspiring. So what kept you inspired to keep streaming for the whole amount of time you have?
I want to push this to you first because I've got a really good answer for this, and
Mm.
I want to hear yours first.
Well, this is all I ever wanted. This is like the dream that I set out for when I was a kid, and it's like something that I've always looked up to and idolized. I've put myself out there on being live and being streaming where it almost feels weird if I don't do it for a while. Like it's almost like streaming is something that's so heavily ingrained into my life and into my future where if I stop doing it, I feel weird. I feel
Yeah.
sad. I can't fucking almost function because I think about it so much. I just always want to
Yeah.
implement it in action. So if we're talking about pushing the snowball so long, it was very easy to do it for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I had to wake up and be like, fucking stream, Jesus, okay, let's punch it in. It's just something that's rolled the ball so often for so long to point now where the momentum for me going live is almost easy. I've had breaks where I needed to like just do my own thing
Yeah.
for a while, but that was outside of wanting to make content. That was just me needing some time. But
Yeah.
as far as inspiration goes, self-motivated, baby.
Mate, look at this beautiful, handsome man. Self-motivated. Any girl would be lucky to snap him up. Shout out to Corvy's girlfriend.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You shaved the mustache off though, so either she's happy.
The
or
audio
disappointed.
listeners didn't know.
Oh, well, audio listeners, he has shaved his mustache off. It's confusing, to say the least. I don't know how to feel about it.
I don't know how to feel about it either, dude, to be fair. Anyway, what kept you inspired?
What kept me inspired? All right. I have some really weird answers to this, right? I've probably got like 2 or 3 answers. One is same as you, it's like that self-motivated. Like I feel like I just want to do it for me. It's something I love doing. I love getting out there and just being a positive influence on the gamers that that are in my community and the overall community. And this is going to sound less positive, but I'm doing it to spite people. Because I've been told so many times, and this is not even just in my streaming career, but my entire life, that people are just like, oh, you start something, you never finish, you're never going to make something of yourself, your name is just not where you're going to be, want it to be. And I've just heard that so much that I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to find something that I love doing, and I'm just going to make you eat all the shit. And I've already done that to people. They're just like, you'll never get more than 5 viewers. And I'm like, hey, look, I average this many now. And they're just like, oh. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to double it soon. They're just like, what? I'm going to double it. And they go, what the fuck? And so that's a big reason is I do it to, I'm proving it to myself initially, but I'm doing it to prove it to them too, that you shouldn't be afraid to, 1, follow your dream, but 2, make people realize that if they're not following theirs, then they're on the wrong path.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, the other side is just being positive. I've been through my own tough shit in my life. I've had some pretty dark days. Like I've had some very dark days. Being a ranger makes it pretty hard, so it's a difficult life there. For all you audio listeners out there, yes, I do have red hair. So just imagine that. Oof, spicy. But yes, I think because of that, and I've had such a hard dealing with that, I needed to go out and prove that I'm above it. Like I wanted to show that I'm above it. So it's like when people come in and that's those inside jokes, people be like, oh, he's a ranger. And I'm like, yeah. When I was in high school, if you said that to me, I probably would have cried. But now, just because I know it's who I am and I've embraced it and I've accepted it. It's the same with where I am now. It's like, as a streamer, I've embraced that this is what I am. Words on a screen can't hurt me. If you come and break into my house and break my legs, yeah, that'll hurt me. Until that point, a lot of what people say about you is just them putting out their own negative feelings that they are already receiving. So it's just trying to show people that there is light to a lot of the gaming scene. So that's a big part of who I am and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, nice. I like the idea of shitting on people. Just be like, you said no, you fucking dumbass.
Dude, it's like prime example. Not going to throw her under the bus, but my mum, I started streaming and she's just like, you are going to fail. And I was just like, Mum, I love the gift you've just given me. And she's like, the gift? And I'm just like, now I just need to prove it to you. And she's just like, you won't do it. And now she's just like, oh, how's your streaming going? And I'm like, Mum, it's going really good. And she just see the disappointment in her face. She's just like, and I'm just like, well, so for audio listeners out there, I made a very disgruntled and upset face that I was doing something that I loved, but I don't approve of it. So that's my mum. And she just gets pissed. She's just like, oh, like, that's good for you, son. I'm just like, yeah, sorry I can't be like my brother who's the golden child and literally doing what my mum does. You know what I mean? The black sheep is gonna, we won't get into the dark side of that, even though I said black sheep. So final thoughts on your journeys with content and we can reflect on how far we got to go. How far did you go?
Well, you did. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. It's just I've only started beginning. It's a ball that doesn't stop rolling with me. And I've been, for those people who like just go live and clock in and don't pay too much attention to the stuff that they're actually doing. I like we were talking about, dude. I think about this all the time. I think about like extra stuff that is crazy. You probably didn't see it, but I did like the Corvies, which is my award ceremony.
Yeah.
In the award ceremony, I did like my first ever live to pre-recorded content, and I seamlessly transitioned to it, that people actually didn't like know what happened until like the video was already playing for like 4 minutes.
That's sick.
And I got kidnapped, like all this shit. I got questioned, kidnapped, and there's like a whole storyline that's built up. Like I have ideas for the future that revolve around better content and all this stuff. So it's like
Nice.
that. It's beginning to me. I feel like I can go a long way, and I can always look back on where I've been, and I can, because I've been doing this so long. I have videos from when I was like 14 on the channel, like talking to, that's privated now, but like just talking and doing like an update vlog.
Mm,
I can look back and see like me wanting to be where I am now with the people that like watch my shit. So it's like I always just wanted like a group of people that watched me when I would go live every
yeah.
day, and I have that. And I was so excited to have that back then, and I have that now, and I feel so proud about it. So
Mm,
got to make future Corby proud now.
mate, that's actually the big thing that people like to ask me. That you when some I'm gonna ask you this now. Is like, who would be your, like, what's your goal? I guess maybe let me rephrase that. In 10 years' time, who would you like to be most like?
Mr. Beast, I'll have 100 million, 100
Beast?
billion followers. I'll have wonderful, a billion of them. Yeah,
See-
so it's like if you're an Australian and not subscribed to my channel, I do believe I can change a law that requires you to go to jail for like 6 months.
That'd be sick.
No, honestly, like I can see myself being vastly successful in my field. I don't know how long that will take, whether that be 5 to 10 years or not, but I can
Mm.
definitely see success there. And numerical value, I can't put a finger on it, but I can see it there.
You know what's
I
really
can
funny?
visualize it completed.
My answer is so different to yours.
Mm?
My answer is so different because I'm going to base mine off a big thing from Matthew McConaughey, and he says, "Who's like
Mhm.
your idol? What's your goal for 10 years? Who do you want to be in 10 years?" It's like, oh, I want to be me in 10 years. So regardless of where I am, I just want to be me and doing what I love. And he
Yeah.
says it in such the most eloquent way, just being like, as then every day you take a step
Alright,
forward,
alright,
your
alright.
goal is still you in 10 years. Every day, so you keep going, recycle. So
Oh, I
in a
see what you
year's
mean.
time- in a year's time, I'm still
Yeah.
10 years away from my goal. So I'm always striving for the best version of me in the future. So
That's a good one.
financially, it doesn't matter where I'm at, because I know in 10 years' time, I'm going to be where I want to be. So it's like, oh, it's all good because I'm already there. In 10 years' time, I'm already there. So
I
I just
like
need
that.
to keep doing what I'm doing. So it's like when you talk about like, yeah, I'm gonna have money, it's like putting people in jail. You know what? I was like, you know what, Corby? Fuck yeah, I back it. Like I'll subscribe to your channel right now. But no,
Oh,
that's
you better, yeah, you're going to fucking jail, idiot. And in 10 years' time, if you're not subscribed, you're
Yeah.
going to be dead. That's my progress. That's my Matthew McConaughey moment.
Yeah,
in
God
jail
damn.
in 10 years, and then 10 years from then, death.
dead. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
zero. It's a big jump. It's a big jump. It's very
10
dramatic.
years is a lot of time.
But yeah, so I think that's a big thing for me. Is like I could see I'm still seeing myself streaming in 10 years, right? That's still
Yeah.
gonna be a thing. Whether I'm successful or not doesn't matter. I'm just there
Okay.
because I want to do it.
Yeah,
I know I'm gonna be successful though. That's a different story, and that's a whole nother side of my brain. But still, that's the same sort of thing. Now, okay, let's end it on a really nice note. Other than the stupid question we're going to ask everyone, let's give some words to the listeners who want to start, maybe a little bit of encouragement as well, about what it's like to sort of start with a good positive, start building a good community around the two summoners. Like, give some words to these listeners about where to start.
All right. Well, if you're looking to stream, dude, we've said it at the start of the pod, and if you've made it all the way through, then obviously content creation is something that you're wanting to pursue. So, look, words of encouragement is like what we said at the start: is just go live, see how it goes. You may get like rated from like Tyler One and get 30K viewers. You may just sit down and enjoy playing a couple league games while you're talking shit to no one in your room. But like, sit down, play it out, enjoy it, enjoy every moment that comes. The trolls, the friends you make along the way, the people that subscribe, the people that give you loads of money and then pretend to be your friends.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy the whole journey of it, top to bottom, the
Yeah.
negatives, the positives, the self-doubt, the self-motivation, the burnouts, everything. Just enjoy the whole ride. Set expectations, don't meet those expectations, be depressed with yourself, find a new way of like, or a new vision. Just go out there and fucking gig it, enjoy it, dude. That's all. That's my motivation.
You know what? I love that. I'm gonna piggyback that a little bit because that was perfect. That was literally what I wanted to say. But I'm gonna say one little thing is don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think failing is the biggest lesson you can get. It's what every coach will tell you when you're playing League of Legends. We'll use this example. Go in. You need to lose games to improve because you've got to learn from your losses. Winning games only lets you know that you're doing the right thing. So go out, fail. I rebranded my stream 4-5 times, probably once a year, and it's only because of this last 2 years I've been like, you know what? I found my brand. This is what I want. Go and just fuck around. Just exactly what you said. Have fun with it. Don't worry about what's going to happen. If you find good people, fuck yeah, you found good people. Let's stick to it. If you don't and you find some dickheads, cool. Get rid of them. Find some more good people. Like, just go out and just do your thing. Because at the end of the day, people aren't watching you to be a fake person. And I learned that the hard way. They're not watching you to put on this fake persona and be something. They want to watch you for you. Because if you can't bring your best version of you to your stream, no one's going to stick around. Because we want to see you. That is what it is. Corvi is probably the best personification of that. Is he goes in, he just does his thing. It's why everyone loves watching him. Simple as that. He is Corvi. If someone's like, how do you describe Corvi? I'm like, I fucking can't, man. Guy's gonna put me in jail. I'm scared.
And then in 10 years, you're dead, idiot.
But you know what I mean? Like that's the big thing.
Yeah.
I think don't be afraid to fail, but don't be afraid to be yourself and
Yeah.
and learn as you go. I think
Yeah,
is the big
weird
one.
stigma. I don't know why we stopped making it cool to like try.
Yeah.
It's always cool to just try and do something, man. So go out
Yeah.
there and try.
Yeah. Now we're going to end this on a funny question that if you have made it all the way through, we want you to answer this in the YouTube comments. Spotify listeners, apologies, you don't have a comment section, but we still love
Say it
you
out loud.
anyway. Say it out loud and just know that we'll hear you. Let's come up with a dumb question though. I'm liking that. What would win in a fight? Okay, do you think you could win in a fight, Corvi, between 1 lion or 100 chickens?
100 chickens.
In a car.
100 in a car. 100
car.
chickens in a car. You just
Yep.
keep driving forward.
It's a big car.
Yeah.
No, they're all in the car with you. The lion's in the car with you,
they're
and then the
in
100
the
chickens
car.
are in the car with you.
Oh, I thought I was driving the car and I'll just run over 100
No.
chickens.
Well, because you run over a lion.
Do-do-do-do, just fucking picking up points.
So no, you're in the car. You have to get into the car, and they're waiting for you, and then you fight them. So the second you open that door, they're gonna bum rush you from inside this car. But you really need to get to this location.
Yeah, chickens.
Chickens?
Yeah, I'm double downing on chickens.
Yeah,
I think chickens.
I'm gonna go chickens as well. Honestly, I made the question a little.
It's a
bit
lot of
too hard.
chickens.
It's 100 chickens.
That's a lot of chickens.
We're talking real hungry, angry cocks just racing at you at full speed.
Yeah.
They see you as a corn kernel. They're ready to eat the shit out of you. They're evil and they're bloodthirsty. These roosters. Do you think you can still
Damn
take them?
cocks. Oh yeah, dude. I can take plenty of cocks.
That's 100. 100 chickens though.
Yeah, man. I'm good.
You have no weapons.
Yeah.
It's your bare hands.
Well, I have these weapons. Audio listeners,
No.
I'm holding on my fists.
This is how he puts you in jail, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 2 big fists.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he comes
Well,
to your
I have a-
house in the dead of night, picks you up, and says you go into jail. And then
I have a
you
good
can
question for you.
Yeah,
Paul.
all right, hit me.
Would you rather finger-sized toes or toe-sized fingers?
Well, I'm really thankful that my toes are like as long as fingers, so it doesn't really phase me. For this
No,
question.
yeah, well, like huge. Like your hand is pretty much your toes. It's like
So
very, very long.
Finger-sized toes.
Or toe-sized. So you have little, tiny, little stubby boys, like for
you sh-
fingies, or you have like big, long, like claw, like sized toes.
I'd have the long claw-sized toes because I'd be like a monkey, and I'd be able to hang from trees.
I would,
That's what I
I
want.
would go for the fingers.
You'd go for the
I want,
fingers.
I want tiny, stubby fingers. Because you
Why?
know how many times you could just be like working at your desk, like probably once, but like you know how many times you could be working at your desk and then you could just like when someone comes up to you, you can just be like pretend all your fingers got cut off and you can just go. "Ah!" They'll start freaking out. Yeah, that's why I'd go toe-sized fingers.
Just think about how fast you'd be at swimming.
Oh, with finger-sized toes.
Yeah.
Like, with tiny little fingies.
Just nubs, dude. You're not swimming fast at all.
Yeah, they're like paddles. They're like oars at that stage.
Phelps would have nothing on me, bro.
Oh, dude.
Well, okay, guys, that is the end of the podcast. I apologize that we did go over time just a smidge, but I feel like it was really important. We had covered some really good content that's really helped you guys out. For all you audio listeners, thank you so much for joining us on today's adventure. I hope you went for a nice walk, got some fresh air. For all you YouTube listeners, you're probably inside of a den or Corvy's jail. So just take care of yourselves as best you can.
Go outside.
You get 1 hour outside time.
You loser. You can go outside now.
You get just have Corvy as the guards, just with his little nub fingered fucking hands.
Yeah, I'd
just
clone
staring at
myself.
you.
I'd be all the guards in the jail.
But guys, don't forget to hit us up on all the social medias. You can go follow us on the Two Summoners Twitter page. We do put a lot of content there as well as we're starting to build that up. Don't forget to follow me and Corvy both on Twitter too, where I know I'm on Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
No, he's not. But no, he probably is. But don't forget to hit us up on our streams as well. We both go live quite frequently. You'll be able to find all our schedules and all that sort of stuff there. But Corvy, I think take us out, man.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. I really enjoyed this one. It's always lovely to talk about stuff that I'm super passionate about, and I know that he was as well, hence the idea. Plus, we're going to be having content creators on in the future, so I feel like it's good to introduce us as not only people who enjoy esports, but make content ourselves. So now that that is established, we can build off that and interview some pretty cool people. So thanks all for watching, guys. We will see you next week for week 7 when the LCO returns. We also may have people on. I'm really not sure about the schedule, but there's a lot of shit in the future. So I'll see you guys next week.
Bon voyage.